It's time for a little bit of science. I'm Will Grant, an Associate Professor in Science Communication at the Australian National University.
And I'm Rod Lamberts. I'm a 30-year science communication veteran with the mind of a teenage boy.
And today, well, we've been at the Beach Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, drinking in swimming cocktails. In fact, I'm still there. I don't know where you are.
Of isotopes and science and stuff like that. So rather than giving you our regular pile of science,
We've saved you something delicious. We've been squirreling away little snippets throughout the millennium, and you're going to get a bunch of those right now. It's going to be fab.
enjoy.
So March 2026, a couple of chemists at the University of Michigan published a bit of a study. It was inspired to begin with. They wanted to understand how many microplastics Michiganders were inhaling when they were outside and whether that depended on where they lived. So they went and checked, and they found plastic counts in the air that were significantly higher than they would have expected from previous work. And I'm talking orders of magnitude higher. So a lot. Obviously, this means the world is screwed and we're all going to die. But then they went, look, there's nothing obvious in the Michigan environment that would lead to this. There's a problem. So they were good skeptical scientists. So they said, all right, let's have a look at our own experimental protocol. So they looked at what they'd done. They'd followed all the standard protocols when conducting the research.
Yeah.
They avoided using plastics in the lab
Sure. Don't know how you do that.
or they didn't use plastic.
Sure.
Your glass retorts and your lead Bunsen burners. Good safe lead.
I don't know if Bunsen burners are often made of plastic, but anyway, yeah.
Fuck, I love a Bunsen burner. When I was a student in the high schools and we had Bunsen burners, it was always exciting when we got to light those. And then one day a student went, what happens if we just light the tap from which the gas comes out? Turns out when you do that, that's quite a flame.
Yeah, no.
It went across half the classroom.
Every high school ever.
Very exciting. Very exciting. So yeah, they avoided using plastics. They wore non-plastic clothing, which puts me, I'm thinking they were wearing woolen pants, chainmail shirts and leather jerkins.
Cotton is a very common non-plastic.
That's not fun. I just love the word jerkin too. Jerkin's fabulous. My parents, especially my mother, had never heard of the word vest, so everything was a jerkin.
No, the only people that wear jerkins are carnies. Like, everyone else, it's a vest or a...
And my dear departed mother. We had jerkins.
Jerkin.
I wore a lot of jerkins. So many jerkins.
Were you a jerkin wearing boy?
Yeah, the 70s were a strange time. In primary school. So they were wearing non-plastic clothes. They avoided plastic in the lab. They followed all the appropriate protocols. They even used a special chamber to reduce potential contamination from lab air. So they're reviewing their protocols.
This is a full-on like biosecurity protocol 3 level thing. Like,
level 17.
Yeah. We're buried under the,
Yeah, exactly. Like that. All good. So then they're thinking, why the fuck were our results literally 1,000 times higher levels of microplastics? 1,000 times higher. When they looked at reviews of heaps of previous studies, 1,000 times higher. So these researchers, the technique they use is called vibrational spectroscopy. This is how they identify microplastics. All that means is bottom line is they look at how particles that they're examining interact with light, and they all interact with light in a specific way. So you get like a particular signature for each thing.
Okay.
So this is how
So he can see multiple things in
Yeah, and you go, this one we know resonates, like reflects light that way, so it must be hamburger meat. This is, however...
in the air.
Exactly, in the air. Very small particles. And so what they really were trying to look for was polyethylene, which is the most common plastic found out in the environment.
I knew that.
I know you did, but other people didn't. I didn't mean to offend you, though. I apologise for that. So that's cool. The problem is, though, polyethylene particles are structurally a lot like another thing called stearate salts. What that means is when you do the what is it called, vibrational spectroscopy, the light that's spat back looks very much the same between these two.
Okay, where do the stearate salts come from?
So, turns out, when you make laboratory gloves...
Laboratory gloves.
Stearate salts are used to help the gloves peel away properly from the moulds that make them.
Okay.
You probably see where this is going.
Yeah, okay.
These gloves it's not like these people were idiots. 100% endorsed by scientific community, the best practice gloves in your laboratories.
Just to pause for a sec.
Yeah.
I love putting on lab gloves.
Of course you do.
I would wear them a lot more if people didn't say that's weird.
That makes you a freaking pervert
It really
of colossal proportions in ways we can't even imagine.
So good. I feel like,
How do you feel about latex?
I don't mind latex.
Don't mind?
Yeah,
Bit of a fan? Are you wearing some right now?
Indeed.
Invisible?
I have 4 pairs all around me.
Latex girdle?
I got an inside jerkin.
Yes, you do.
Latex jerkin.
So these are best practice gloves. But of course, they can shed onto samples. So what they were using to do their microplastic studies were these small metal sheets.
That's so weird, yeah.
Yeah. So also, these salts apparently, just as an aside, they're not particularly good for you if you ingested a shitload of them, and they liken them to soap molecules.
I should stop eating the gloves.
You should stop eating the glove. But they're not super harmful in the environment the way microplastics appear to be.
So I can eat some of the gloves.
Some of the glove, but not all of the glove. You can lick the gloves, but don't lick every glove. Just lick 1 or 2 gloves. Yours or someone else's, that's up to you.
While they're wearing them or not.
Pleased to meet you. You taste like a stearate salt. Maybe it's pronounced stiarate, I don't know. So contamination was discovered. But what about the other gloves? You know, the ones that kind of the whole thing that needs to be done with. So they basically went, we need to look further. So they investigated the extent of the contamination. How far could it go? They mimicked the touch between 7 types of gloves that would be used in a lab.
Yep.
7 types. They counted the number of microplastics that would incorrectly be attributed to the environment if we follow the most common approaches, they say.
Yeah.
They found gloves can shed 7,000 plus particles per square millimetre that could be misidentified as microplastics.
Are we going to say here there's no microplastics in the world, it's all in the gloves?
There are literally no microplastics. No, not necessarily, but worse, the most common particles are less than 5 micrometers in size, your and those microplastics, they're the ones that have very large impacts on humans and the ecosystem because they can most easily enter cells. So the false readings are very much like the real readings that they want. So basically this means these gloves could be inflating all kinds of microplastics readings.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that we have been finding them everywhere.
Everywhere, in everything.
It does suggest perhaps, but let's check the lab. Let's check the lab. And I don't doubt that microplastics are everywhere, but maybe
not as everywhere. Do you know the ultimate solution for them?
Metal gloves.
Don't wear gloves.
Don't wear gloves.
I'm like, what if we take them off?
Do you know, wow.
Which, of course, in some cases you probably should. So there are other kinds of gloves you can use that don't shed these things. But also it doesn't matter so much when you're looking for your pathogens and stuff. You're not going to confuse them with your stearate salts.
So your point of this is not don't worry about microplastics, but
ask more questions. Just ask
worry.
more questions. I mean, yeah, I'm not. The problem is, of course, thoses who are your anti-sciences and stuff and don't believe in environmental being bad and so on could very easily leap upon this and go, "We'll see, it's all bullshit." That's not the point. The point is, because it's good science, check.
Look, yeah,
check, and if you're wrong, admit it and find out what it really looks like, or at least get a better measure of what the microplastics look like.
And then say thank you, science, for continue checking.
I hope they're right because that means there are less microplastics out there. I hope this is really widespread, but I don't know yet. I really hope it's widespread in the labs. Well, this is it's an interesting warm-up you've given me to this story. Onanism.
Oh.
So that's a fancy way.
Biblical practice.
It is, and it's a fancy way for those, the one person out there who doesn't realise it's a fancy way to talk about interfering with oneself for the purposes usually of pleasure.
Sexual pleasure.
Sexual
you
pleasure.
You can interfere for other.
That's true. And you mentioned the Bible, and I didn't realise this. I've used the word before because I felt terribly clever, but I never really looked up why it's called that.
Old Mr. Onan.
Yeah, it was. So Book of Genesis 28:9, obviously. Yeah. You knew that. Onan, the son of Judah.
Indeed.
He was obliged by Levirate law.
Yeah, that's come to
Levirate marriage law.
Come to a little bit of science for your Bible
for your
studies.
Ancient Jewish laws. So he was obliged, because his brother died, he was obliged to impregnate his brother's widow and then raise those babies in his brother's name, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, my brother died, I'm going to have intercourse.
No, in the old school, I can understand that.
Sure.
I don't know if it has to be the babies, but it might be there a duty of care to your wife-in-law, in-law.
Yeah, but including you got to knock her up and look after the kids, but call them your brother's kids.
Oh, you call them that?
Not your kids.
Oh.
You raise them in the brother's name.
Oh, do you?
Apparently.
Does the brother have more cash or something lying around?
Probably. It's the Bible. There's something nefarious going on. There's always something nefarious.
I feel like raising them in their name, I think that's weird.
But the reason he has to.
Yeah, okay. And so what does he do to solve the problem?
He didn't want to. So to avoid it, the quote is he spilled his semen on the ground when he went to his brother's wife so that he would not give offspring to his brother.
So that doesn't necessarily mean masturbation. That just means he's doing the business.
He spilt it somehow. And I think it was the pull-out method.
It's the pull-out method.
Yeah, the implication is it wasn't.
And also he's leaning over the bed as well.
Of course he is. He's feeling faint.
I feel like he could spill it on the bed, but he's like, no, I'm going to get it on the ground.
No, it's going on all the dirt floors. You just sweep it away. Wait for it to harden and, I don't know.
Pry it off.
But it can be used to refer to female pleasure, self-pleasure as well, though it's more often, shockingly and not surprisingly, considered more negative when it's related to a lady because we're shits, basically. Anyway, you're more likely to call it masturbation, wanking, manual pleasure, yanking, whatever it is, and it's probably one of the two most common ways humans have sex, so to speak.
Yeah.
That and the other one I think might be cloacal diving.
I think so.
But I'm not sure.
You have said before, if there is a term for it or an interest for it, there is porn.
Someone's into it.
I don't know if there is cloacal diving.
I bet I've told you and I'll tell you again. If you can imagine it, someone's into it.
Not many humans have a cloaca.
That's my T-shirt. If you can imagine it, someone's into it.
Yeah, someone might be, but not many people have a cloaca.
You only need one. We did cover a story where
Yeah.
there was uniting internally of certain...
Well, it was someone who got pregnant through anal sex as well.
Yeah, and there was a rip within the body. So you could kind of call that I don't know, artificial cloaca? Probably shouldn't.
Not quite diving.
No. So anyway, it's definitely not limited to humans, though. Like, masturbation is quite common in animals. And from this seminal work, you're welcome, 2022, Masturbation in the Animal Kingdom. I'm sure you've read it. It's a wonder. So they offer several hypotheses to explain the function of masturbation in other species.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, let's talk about its function. So some of the observations include things like people suggesting masturbation improves ejaculate quality. I don't know, you keep it pumping, make it fresher. Decreases the risk of contracting sexually transmitted infections. I assume that's also because you flush shit out.
Cleaning function.
Exactly, a cleaning function. It may merely be a byproduct of sexual arousal and thus an alternate outlet to copulation.
Yeah, but I don't know why animals want an alternate outlet. Like, I don't think evolution says, let's have an alternate. I can understand those other things, evolution providing a reason for.
But if there's not a sufficiently arousing animal around you or willing, but you're feeling like a little bit of good stuff, then you do it yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Animals get that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand this evolutionary speaking. That
Yeah, it gets
I
messy.
can understand if it helps keep you clean or it helps improve the sperm quality. Absolutely, that would lead to a fitter animal. But
Well, maybe they don't want, we want to breed animals get less bored.
okay,
Animals sitting there going, oh, another mouse, they'll whack off.
and that's the
Now I'm
thing
interested.
that's the thing we're evolving for.
Yeah, well, not us. Obviously, we're better than that because we are, devout. And they say, we propose that the widespread prevalence of masturbation in the animal kingdom may be better explained by viewing masturbation as primarily self-reinforcing behaviour that promotes pleasure both in humans and non-human species. Sure. But unshockingly, the other thing I think is interesting they mention is the research on which all these theories are based is scarce and it's heavily focused on male masturbation, not female.
What a surprise.
Imagine that,
what a
right?
Surprise.
Ladies do it? Huh. So there are heaps of animals that do it. Various primates are classic for it.
Yep.
There are others. And speaking of videos, you recommended a video a moment ago. There's one here, a tortoise doing the business to itself.
Tortoise, how quickly?
Oh, this video will fucking break your eyes. It's in the show notes. It's a YouTube video. It's called Speedy's Big O ... Turtlegasm. And the camera angles are close and clear.
I don't need to see this.
It's phenomenal. Like, I expected something quite simple.
I am very much imagining a cartoon tortoise at this point, and I'm just trying. And of course, this is an actual. I'm just trying to imagine those little hoofs trying to do a thing.
It defies description. I mean, the appendage itself is wildly multifaceted and full of things.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like a mother and a daughter or something filming it, and they're just delighted.
Well,
and then
sure.
Speedy goes kablooch, and it's prolific. It's remarkable. So anyway, tortoises. Apparently, camels rub their penises in the sand. But what else are they going to do? They're in the desert. What else are they going to rub them into? Their hooves. Dogs, we know, like to hump a leg, a pillow, or whatever. Apparently, also African ground squirrels are into it. I knew you were going to bring that up. List goes on and on and on. But today I want to talk about birds. Sure. Because obviously, apparently, it's really common among birds.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. So according to bird masturbation experts... proud parents out there going...
There's a lot of science out there. There's a lot of science.
There is. I mean, there's stuff like this. I'm thinking, wow, you specialised.
Well, someone's got to do it.
No, they don't, but they can do it. That's what's important.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
So they say, look, avian self-pleasure is usually a rather inelegant affair.
An inelegant affair?
Yeah, inelegant.
They're dainty when they're doing it.
Well, they say in which...
Can I just check? I mean, you're going to talk me through the method here?
Of course.
Beak or wings or talons?
Well, here we go. Apparently the bird rubs their cloaca against an object like a branch, a twig or a toy, because sometimes they find a toy when they're in captivity.
Yep.
And it's, quote, often accompanied by a lot of flapping and self-satisfied vocalizations.
A lot of flapping.
Flacka, 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 flacka. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This twig is perfect for my genital stimulation.
That's great.
So this might explain why it's often been treated as abnormal behaviour when captive birds do it, because apparently it looks quite inelegant and noisy.
Sure.
And they say particularly parrots. Apparently parrots.
Yeah, but
really
parrots are
stand
the
out.
kind of thing parrots, I hate to say, like just by their behaviour, they're a masturbatory species.
Fuck yeah, they are.
like they're in the category in advance. You'd go, yeah, they're into
Of course,
that. Like
they're shit stirrers. They'll drop stuff on you.
Yeah.
They'll mess with you. They'll eat shit you don't want to eat,
yeah.
and they will beat off whenever they want to.
Indeed.
Preferably if you're watching.
Like they're the primates of the bird kingdom.
And you know they're making eye contact the whole time. They're just like, no, if you're going to look at me, you're going to look at me.
Well, they can look both sides of their heads. So, like, they can do eye contact with a lot of the world.
Haven't you had that experience? No, I'm not going to get into that. They claim, at least in captivity, that it had been assumed that the masturbation was due to like high stress, bad health, or terrible environments.
Sure. This is just hippie
this is bizarre
scientists
behaviour, yeah.
blaming captivity when it's just that the birds like doing it.
Well, I don't know, but so they say that at least so far, bird keepers would regularly discourage masturbation in their captives via punishment, veterinary interventions such as diet or care changes, and sometimes even drugs and surgery. You've been beating off, you're a bad bird or you're a broken bird, we will correct you. It's great, huh?
Look, I appreciate, they got the Queen coming over to visit their bird sanctuary, and all the birds
Please
are whacking off.
don't masturbate in front of His Majesty.
Not now, please, not now.
One is not amused.
Like, there might be a time and a place for these things, and birds are not a time and a place sort of creature.
Well, they are. This is the time and this is the place. I'm here, and look at the time. But so apparently the question is it true that captive birds beating off are demonstrating abnormal behaviour, and therefore should you curtail it? This is the question that was being asked.
No, because this is me. Should you curtail it? Like, this sounds a little bit biblical, that if I don't curtail it, God will punish someone here. And it sounds, what are you doing?
The bird got, you have a quiet chat. Talk me through it. Why are you doing that?
Why?
What's up, champ? You appear to be rubbing against that toy too often.
No, it was more the talking a bird out of having a wank. It feels like this is futile. Like, there's many things on which you can spend your time.
Talk a bird out of anything. Go on.
Yeah, well, indeed.
Although, no, I've had magpies that we've made friends with walk into my kitchen, and I have to say, out you pop, and I talk to them like I talk to my dogs, and they kind of go, yeah, fair
No,
cop.
but that's a magpie. That's a smart bird.
But I can talk to them. I talk them out of it.
Next time, you talk them out of masturbation.
I will.
You just
Not in the house.
give it a go.
Not on my watch. Not under my roof.
Not in the house, sweetie.
Not under
Out you
my
go.
roof.
Out you go. And they warble back at you with that beautiful song.
They do. They've walked into my house and looked at me and gone, where's the food? And then gone, and I'm like, what are you bitching at me for? You're inside. Off. So anyway, turns out masturbation in birds has been largely unexplored by the scientific community. It's not a common topic until recently. And one reason was apparently cloacas were assumed to have shitloads less nerve clusters than like human bits. So
Well, no one's mapped the cloacal nerve
no,
endings
we've only
yet.
just done the clitoris, so why would we rush to the cloaca? But they reckon that maybe they're not that sensitive to it, so if they're masturbating, there's something else going on because they can't be that into it.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, this is speculation. So a new bit of research, they've fixed this, they've sorted it. They investigate the distribution and evolutionary history of masturbation in birds for the first time. Again, though, saying to your parents, what are you doing at uni? Bird wanking.
But the evolutionary history of it
Yep.
through time.
Yep.
Old birds.
Don't tell your grandfather. He's not into
I'm looking for fossils of birds that wanked.
Yeah, whatever. It's not copra, it's coprolite.
Oh, no, just saying, if they died in the act or something like that.
Spermolite? Died in the act. So they found masturbation is widespread across birds, and there's a strong evolutionary history to this. I won't go into details, long and boring. There are more records of masturbation in male birds, but it does happen in both, of every age. It's more common in species that have multiple partners than ones that kind of monogamize.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they reckon there might be evolutionary and procreational benefits, cleaning, etc., like I mentioned earlier. But the big thing is, it's less common in captivity than in the wild.
Really?
Less common in captivity.
There you go.
Yeah. So screw you bird prudes. They're doing it in captivity. If they're doing it 8 times a day in captivity, the same bird out in the wild,
9.
or 9 exactly, 8.5, just not to fruition. So it's neither unnatural and it is not a consequence of captivity.
That's great.
Yeah. So bird keepers, stop stopping them. Stop it. Unless they're really gone extreme, they're chronically masturbating, they're causing, they have or they're getting health problems, psychological issues, etc. Obviously.
Breaking your house or something.
Breaking your house, yeah. So the scientists reckon, they've kind of come up to the conclusion, birds clearly get some pleasure from doing it. It might be important for breeding programs and avian well-being to leave them the hell alone. And they conclude, while sexual pleasure may not be exactly the same experience as for mammals, it is wildly premature to dismiss the idea that birds also feel pleasure. And I'm not going to lie, I never thought about it. I figured you say an animal's beating off, I'm like, well, of course they like it.
Well,
You know, like, I never made me think, oh, there must be other reasons. I'm like,
I would
they might just like
imagine.
it.
I would imagine that what's the old thing? You know, avoiding pain and heading towards pleasure.
Yeah.
Is a pretty old evolutionary instinct.
Fucking worms do it.
Yeah, indeed. Worms masturbate.
Yep.
Oh, great.
But I don't know if it's pleasure or pain, though.
Oh,
Because worms feel a lot of shame.
Avoiding pain.
Worms feel a lot of shame. I'll cover that next episode. Big numbers hurt our brains. Maybe they don't hurt yours. Maybe you have a special... I know you have a special brain, but in this sense. Elon Musk, as we all know now, if you're listening to this in the vague present, he just became the first US dollar trillionaire in history.
That's true, US dollar. Because there's been plenty of trillionaires.
Yeah.
Like you go to Zimbabwe and it ain't hard.
German mark straight after World War II, or just before.
Yeah.
You're like, what do you need? I need a wheelbarrow of $1 million bills to buy a loaf of bread. And you're like, nah, we've run out of bread.
Yeah. Okay. US dollar.
Trillionaire in 2026. And we know this because the share offering for SpaceX went ballistic, which is hilarious. That's what he does. He offers shares and stuff that may or may not work, and then boom.
Oh, look.
Anyway, I don't even know how to think about the number 1 trillion. Like, I mean, I know it's big and I kind of go, goggle, blago, blugen.
And if you were to swim in it, like if the Scrooge McDuck scenario where you're swimming in
coins.
In coins.
Which is...
Like, how big is your swimming pool?
Large. Going back to astronomical units.
Yeah.
Just also, have you seen the realist version of diving into the pool of coins?
Oh, no, it would hurt.
Oh, not hurt. You smash yourself to bits. But so it's a 1 with 12 zeros. Like, that kind of helps. So I can look at it and I write it out. I kind of go, okay, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, etc.
Yeah, okay.
But I was relieved to find out when I think about a trillion, I think about infinity. I'm like, look, I understand the idea of it, but I don't know how to get my head around it. I just don't. And I was relieved to find out that it's not just me who has problems with this. So there was a study in 2008. It starts like this. It says, look, if we were asked to map out the numbers 1 to 10 on a line, we'd probably leave the same gap between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, etc. Like a ruler. That's what we'd probably do. I would.
Yes.
I reckon you would too.
Yes. Okay. Thanks, science. Is this...
But...
Oh, okay.
There's more. Indigenous Amazonian folks who had not been Western educated, and they tested on, your untouched native types, which is, classic trope. They were given numbers to place on a line in various forms, as they put it. Sets of dots, spoken words, tone sequences. I don't know how you do that, but different ways to represent the numbers. And they said, place them along this line. And they tended to place larger numbers closer together at one end and smaller numbers further apart at the other. So 1 and 2 further apart, 9 and 10 closer together.
Well, I'm with them. Like the gap between 9 and 10 is actually smaller than the gap between 1 and 2.
It's not.
In percentage-wise, it is.
Yeah, but it's not.
No,
absolutely,
to go from 1 to 2, you're doubling. Yeah. And to 9 to 10,
and that is
you're
the logic.
adding a small fraction.
Yeah, and that is the logic that kind of messes with the system, because that's what happens. As you get bigger and bigger, people kind of look at absolute versus relative relationships. Exactly what you said. But it seems also then when you get to the point of estimating the leap from 1 million to 1 billion and 1 billion to 1 trillion, it really messes with people's brains.
People are like, not much different?
Yeah, they go from 1 million to 1 billion, you add 3 zeros, that's cool. 1 billion to 1 trillion, you add 3 more. So it seems like the same kind of leap.
Okay, yeah.
3 zeros, same thing. But it absolutely isn't, because obviously counting zeros won't help you. If you're a millionaire, you have to earn another 999 million to become a billionaire. Mm-hmm. If you're a billionaire, you need to get another 999,999 million to become a trillionaire. That's
Lots.
Not the same.
Yeah, okay.
They're different. So they put this in this study. As soon as we're confronted with values we can no longer visualize, we fall back on this intuitive pattern recognition. The kind of thing, exactly what you kind of described. Apparently this leads us to underestimate the true magnitude of the wealth of the super rich. We just kind of don't really get our heads around it. So there's a suggestion. I'll give you 2 suggestions. I'll give you their suggestion and then the one I found, which I like more. How do you visualize it? One is you convert numbers into, or the dollars, whatever it is, to the unit of time. So you say, okay, $1 equals 1 second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yep.
So that means 1 hour, $3,600.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, cool. You go like $1 million, 11 and a half days.
All right. Okay.
$1 billion? Want to guess?
I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of your life, isn't it?
Not my case. It's about a quarter of my life.
A quarter of your life. Okay.
So 31 and a half years.
Yeah.
$1 trillion.
Well, we're talking 1,000 times that, so 36,000 years.
Yeah, 32,000 years.
Yeah.
And so they say, oh, that might help. And actually, the moment I read it, I kind of went, okay, that helps me somehow qualitatively make more sense of that number. But then I thought, there's got to be other ways. So I went to, Al Jazeera. We all know this site. Al Jazeera's handy, what can you buy for $1 trillion website. I've got a little calculator there. It's great.
Is it like Sydney?
Oh, it's better. It's better. It's better. And they've got this big, this is estimates. These are all estimates. Well, of course it is. Point in time, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, and once you start throwing your $1 trillion around, people raise the price.
It's true. How much do you have to spend? I don't want to tell you.
If you come and say, I want to buy Sydney, and yesterday they would have sold for $1 trillion, but now they're like, well, we're on the market.
5 trillion. Fuck. A trillionaire wanted it. So here are some of the examples. How many basically American McDonald's burgers?
Well, $1 trillion?
200 billion.
Okay, great. Sure.
Okay, how about iPhone 17 Pro Maxes?
Well, yeah, do the conversion.
834 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
Million.
Okay.
Barrels of crude oil.
Yeah.
So Elon could buy 12.5 billion barrels of crude oil. Like, what? Are there that many? You could fund global humanitarian aid for 22 years, all aid.
All of it, yeah.
And have 32 billion left over.
That's a lot of money left over.
Yeah,
Why'd they leave that amount left over?
Oh, no, it's just because I did the calculation.
It's a rounding error.
Yeah,
when $32 billion is your rounding error. So
that's what's left over. I think they valued each year at about 44 billion.
Yeah,
so
okay,
it's like,
okay.
oh, you got 32 billion left. It's like, cheers, I don't know, I'll go buy a pie or something. Get comfy. Global famine relief, not humanitarian aid, global famine relief. 166 years at the current rates. Or, more familiar to us, and you'd know this too, how many James Webb telescopes do you think that is?
Oh, it's got to be 100.
It is 100. 100 James Webb telescopes for $1 trillion.
How many, what are they called? The curved space telescope. Curved space telescope. That's the
I don't know.
That's the one out in the...
You didn't give us a price, did you?
No, I didn't.
6.
I don't think they've worked out the price
6 cost units. The one I like best probably is they say, if you burn through $1 million every day, $1 million a day.
That's hard to spend.
That's what I was thinking, like, how the fuck do I spend $1 million a day?
Certainly, and you would go, okay, I could buy a house every day, but that gets tedious. Like, there's...
Imagine every morning you wake up and go, I'm going to buy another house, and it's got to be $1 million. Fucking, I don't care. If you spent $1 million a day, we're ignoring the fact that if it's sitting in a bank, it's earning bajillions in interest. 2,700 years to spend $1 trillion at $1 million a day.
So you could literally live the fastest life you could possibly imagine.
Beyond sanity.
Yeah.
Like, beyond imagination, so much amount of money. Of course, it's all ephemeral and, you know, stock markets rise and fall, but like, it's kind of fun to think about, but not in a. It's not money anymore.
There was one metaphor that I heard once that I thought was a really nice one for, and it didn't do Elon Musk, and I don't have the exact numbers in here.
Yeah.
But it's like if you say to people, "Oh, what do you think is the world income distribution?" They give a certain sort of picture.
Like who gets?
Yeah. How much is owned by the top 1% or the top 5%? What should the world's income distribution be? And they do a different version. But basically, to do this, then they look at distribution on a plane, because in an aeroplane, a big international airplane, you've got 4 different classes. So you've got the economy seats, you've got the premium economy, you've got the business, and the first class.
Yeah.
And so
is this first class the one with the shower or?
I don't know.
I just want to be clear.
But what they say is, so people look at, say, a big international plane, they say, okay, that's fair. You know, sort of first class people have maybe 3 or 4 times the amount of room as an economy seat. It's shockingly not like that.
First class people in this equation have 9,000 planes.
well, that's the Elon version. But in reality, like, it's like if you had a first class, which is like the 1%, they have half the plane.
Yeah.
And they're literally walking around in so much room, and everyone else is squeezed in the back.
Yeah, they're looking for shit to put in the plane. Yeah. They've got too much space.
So I thought that plane metaphor gave a sort of really visual representation, because people understand and recognize, okay, if we have different sorts of wealth in society, it's not the worst that some people, there are like the first class and they have 4 times the amount. Yeah. But it's nothing like that. It's nothing.
You've got 20 times the seat that I have?
And
that doesn't seem nice. But then you go, well, they can afford it. You're like,
well, maybe we can do something about that.
We can?
Yeah.
Well, if you donate, hit donate, we'll put up a donate button. And if you give us $1 trillion, we'll donate, 82% of it?
Sure, yeah.
Fuck it, 84. I'm feeling generous.
I'll donate 99%.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Giving away my money. Alzheimer's sucks, right?
Oh.
It's poop. But here's a good news story, kind of. So there was a story very recently about an 83-year-old woman, apparently Japanese-American, as you know, the Americans are fond of co-labeling. So for the last 5 years, horribly afflicted by Alzheimer's, like 24/7 care, communicated in single syllables.
Yeah.
Struggled to walk, urinary incontinence at great levels, all the terrible things. But recently, with the consent of her son, she was given an amount of the Enigma strain of the highly potent magic mushroom species.
The Enigma strain?
The Enigma strain.
That's the one Churchill had.
That's all he ever had. with his breakfast champagne.
It's an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a
rizzle dizzle. The species is Psilocybin cubensis, for those of you playing at home. So
the cubist one?
Yeah, it's the Picasso version.
You only have Picasso visions.
Suddenly everyone's eyes are on the same side of their head and stuff like that.
Or do you get the little pecans?
That's the mushrooms. Different mushrooms.
Oh, different mushrooms.
Different mushrooms. Standard dosages of this. So microdose, 0.1 to 0.2 grams. Common, if you're being recreational, 1 to 2.5 grams. Mm-hmm. So they gave her 5.
Why did they start there?
I don't know. It's a bunch of this.
Was a little bit of what's the worst that can happen? Were these medical professionals doing this?
Well, again, yeah-ish. It's a little bit ambiguous. Okay. It was written up, this study or this case report was written up in a journal. Yeah, look, it's not clear to me why A, they gave it to her at all, and B, that amount. It's not clear to me. She initially began sweating profusely and entered a prolonged, deep, sleep-like state. I'm not shocked. But then they say about 19 hours later, her facial expressions became much more animated. Mm. She made prolonged eye contact, smiled responsively, and moved with greater agility. All right. She started speaking in complete sentences.
Right.
Initiated a conversation that included memories and reflections of the past, and that lasted around 4 hours. Over the next few days, her family, her caregivers at least, said she started recognising family members, walked more independently, could dress herself, smiled and made eye contact, spontaneously entered conversations, and regained bladder control.
Wow. Like, that's quite a lot of difference.
Oh, just a tad.
Like, that's...
Yeah, huge.
And just, the normal understanding of the trajectory of Alzheimer's, dementia, those kinds of things. It's not. There is a one-way trajectory here.
Yeah. And like many of us, I've seen it firsthand, and it's...
And mostly what people are talking about is slowing the slide or delaying the slide, but not getting...
There ain't no reverse talk going on as a rule. So it seemed like a month later she was still showing... She had improved function, but it might have been dropping a bit. So they said, give her 3 more grams.
Sure.
After this, she selected and put on coordinated clothing independently.
Oh, coordinated clothing.
Yeah, so it wasn't just like a shoe on her ear and one glove or something. She would actually...
It's a matching twin set.
She would never wear a Gucci with a Versace because she's not an animal.
No.
She'd go to the television room waiting for her breakfast. She'd recognise contextual details, they say, such as a rented car.
That car's rented.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait.
It's a rental.
It's a street.
Exactly. Don't be showing off in a rental.
Get away.
I know you can just get it in the shop.
Buy one, you jerk. I don't understand that detail. But anyway, she also would notice when someone was unexpectedly absent from her environment, repeatedly remained continent for a long time when her incontinence had normally been quite routine.
Consistent.
Yep. And apparently she also described surfing with her son on a peaceful island. I'm not quite sure how that fits in.
I feel she described it. She said, we did a thing at a time in the past. Let's assume that.
Or let's not forget, she's on mushrooms.
Yeah, we're surfing.
So maybe she thought she was doing it right now. It's not clear. So what the fuck's going on is obviously a big question. So one guy, David Nutt, he's at Imperial College London. He said... He's heard of similar reports of psychedelic. He didn't do this work. He didn't do this thing.
No, but we've talked to David Nutt years ago.
I was thinking that name is familiar.
Yeah.
We did talk to him.
Many years ago.
So anyway, he'd heard of similar reports of psychedelics improving brain functions in people with neurodegenerative decline. Mm. But he says the accounts don't prove psychedelics promote longevity, maintain good brain function, etc. But they are consistent with their apparently known anti-inflammatory actions.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, could be, couldn't be, could be a bit, but yes.
Sure. I just want to pause for a second. Longevity is not necessarily the goal here.
No.
No. 10 years of no real function versus 3 years of you get stuff back. I can imagine people making that trade-off.
Yeah.
Longevity is not necessarily the goal.
It's not. So there's theories that say, look, psilocybin alters communication between brain networks, loosens activity patterns, which allows surviving neural circuits to reconnect. So that's cool. In animal studies, it says it might promote neuroplasticity and reduce inflammation. So, so it's not wildly out of the realm of possibility. So we've got another guy, Albert Garcia Romeu. He's at Johns Hopkins, and he does study psilocybin stuff on depression, people with mild cognitive impairment and early Alzheimer's. And he says, look, it's unclear what psilocybin effects it could have in the long term. It's like, okay. He says, I have a litany of concerns about the validity of the report and the ethics of this overall. I'm like, sure. The paper only described the month after the session, does not specify any longer term follow-up or how long or whether improvements persisted. Okay. And a big part of this skepticism beyond it being just on one person. The case report lists the author's affiliation as the medical department of the Asociación Cruz de Ancc, in Sao Paulo, which is appears to be a religious and philosophically oriented organisation. And apparently this is a need for criticism. And conservative scientists are basically worried they're a bunch of hippies because their Instagram apparently had been gushing about this case report. And also they've got posts on things like Plato's cave is a metaphor for awakening human consciousness amid the illusions of everyday life.
Oh, okay.
And also how they reported how people in a group meeting had introspective experiences with psilocybin use from ancestral visions to overcoming barriers of ego. Now, to me, that's a statement of facts. I don't know if that's necessarily a legitimate critique of what they're doing.
Yeah.
But for your more conservative science types, you can see them going, well, hippies.
I think
hippies.
They could well be hippies, but I think, like in the realm of the case report, if you've done some experimental science and it suggests something that you could inquire more, then that's worth inquiring more.
Look, I agree.
I don't think this is the cure necessarily, but geez.
This smells to me a bit, it's still that kind of, but it's mushrooms. It's just an impression I get. Because you've got then legitimate and august folks saying they found things like new connections can form and networks can change in response to the administration of the drug. It can temporarily reshuffle how networks communicate. It also has been found to help nerve cell growth, and we mentioned inflammation, and brain network activity. But whether this occurs in people with Alzheimer's is unclear. It's like, well, so we're finding out.
Yeah.
And the Garcia Ramu, who I mentioned a moment ago, he goes on and says, look, this is the one I find the most dumb, honestly. I could be wrong, but to me, I'm like, come on. He says her diagnosis was based on symptom assessment, not more reliable methods such as biomarker testing or neuroimaging.
Okay.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, no. And remembering the point of any cure, any treatment is to reduce symptoms.
Yeah.
Like if you still have a condition, but you have it now managed in a way through some sort of treatment that means it doesn't affect your life.
Yeah. Oh no, we need a brain scan to prove that it did.
Yeah.
Like, just calm down, science guy. Or medical science guy.
Look, and this is, it's like AIDS, the HIV AIDS that we have moved to a place where people now manage it and have fulfilling long lives.
Yes.
In a way that 30 years ago, people were like, no way, it's, death sentence and that's it.
Yep.
And yes, they still mostly, I think there are occasionally people that the virus is dropping below detectable levels, but mostly people still have it. And it's like, so we redefine what the problem is. Like the problem is that they couldn't live long lives and they couldn't have relationships and things like that. So calm down.
And look, I'll go on record here and say, if I'm in that place,
oh, here we go,
where I'm Alzheimer'd and messed up,
you want to take the mushrooms.
You have it here on record. I'm saying to you right now, pump me full of the shit and let's see what happens.
I don't think that's on an ethics application. Pump him full of the shit.
Don't do it as science.
Don't do it as science.
Just come over and go, dude, fuck, I won't know what you're doing. And then you give it to me, I'll go like, well, you remembered. It's been 400 years. You finally got me loaded.
Oh, there you go. Pump him full of the shit.
But why wouldn't you though? I mean, seriously, like that's my other question. And I know this
but actually, and here is the pause, that the conservatives are somewhat right here.
Of course.
And you've got to be careful of the podcasters going, oh, here, we've got a cure to Alzheimer's. We don't know.
No,
we don't know.
It's one story. Yes, it's one story.
You could imagine idiots reading this and going, cool, Granny upstairs has got the bad Alzheimer's, so let's just get some shrooms and keep trying it until
5 grams was good, so we gave her 12.
Yeah, exactly. So, it is worth being careful here.
We need to think about it, I agree. And yes, you're right. Idiot podcasters making proclamations. I'm just saying do it to me.
Okay.
Not to you. And also, nowhere are we suggesting that taking a bunch of mushrooms preemptively averts Alzheimer's and other things. No one's saying that yet.
Well, that was your little bit of science for the week.
Your holiday edition, your special by the pool wearing a bikini edition.
But because you're on holiday, you know that you still have the power to give us the rating that you need to give us.
Yeah, 7 stars on every app, even things that don't do podcasts.
Yeah, go out there and rate it on like a recipe app.
And Uber and Yelp. Is it Yelp still a thing?
I think so.
I don't know, I'm in a restaurant.
And listener, if you've got some topics that you want us to explore,
tell Will.
How would we tell Will?
His number is 0405.
Not like that.
Oh, cheers at a little bit of science.com.au.
Do that. We want your stories.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Lovely listener. Enjoy the Pinas Colada.
Oh, and the
Pina Colada.
Pina Coladia.
Pina Coladia.
Of the clay.
Pina Coladi.